congratulations to students and teachers for completing another year. Well done. Congratulations to all the graduates who are moving on to something new. Well done. And congratulations to parents who hopefully can enjoy some downtime with their families this summer. One of the things that makes summer special is the opportunity to connect with family that you haven't seen in a while. Many of us have family members who live in different towns and states and even countries. We can stay in touch by the magic of technology, but summer gives us an opportunity to actually spend time together. How many of you have plans to visit family this summer? Just show of hands. So a lot of us are going to take this time to spend time with our families. When we have time to travel, like many of us are going to do this summer, we might visit grandparents who live far away, like my friend Louisa is doing this summer when she goes to Ohio for 6 weeks to visit her grandparents. Or we might attend a family reunion to meet up with aunts and uncles and cousins that we didn't even know we had. Maybe there's a family wedding or anniversary celebration that brings our extended family back together. No matter how we connect, being with family is important to many of us. And today, we hear a story about Jesus, which includes him visiting his family. Spoiler alert, it's not a very happy family reunion, but I'm getting ahead of myself. First, it's really important for us to know what Jesus has been up to, because Jesus has been really, really busy. He's graduated from being a dutiful son to his family and a carpenter by trade. He's moving on to do something new. He's showing people how to love God and live in God's loving ways in a new way. So first, Jesus invites 12 new friends to help him with this new venture. Now here's something interesting. He doesn't invite his family or his childhood friends or his neighbors or his coworkers or anyone that he really knows. He invites 12 strangers to join him. Jesus widens his circle of relationship by inviting folks that he isn't related to, which is rather strange when you think about it. Jesus includes people that he doesn't really know all that well in the most important work of his life. Now, by the time Jesus arrives to visit his family, the word has spread that he's doing amazing things. He's teaching and preaching and healing in the name of God. There's a big crowd of people who start to follow him wherever he goes, because what Jesus is doing attracts people. Seeing God's love in action widens the circle of relationships by including them in something new. The people who follow Jesus feel included in the kingdom of God that Jesus embodies. But here's the thing. Not everybody is happy about Jesus' growing popularity. Legal experts are calling Jesus crazy and trying to convince others that the things he is doing are evil. And even worse than the name-calling of the authorities is the reaction of his family. His family isn't that thrilled with Jesus' new vocation. They decide they want to have a family meeting to talk some sense into him. How many of you have ever had to attend a family meeting? I will admit I have had to. And it was never good news. It was never just get together and be happy. It was always something serious. But his family wants to convince him to stop what he's doing, probably because they're afraid that Jesus' actions will reflect badly on them. Has that ever happened to you? Has anyone anyone ever tried to stop you from doing something because they're worried that what you're doing might affect them? That's exactly what Jesus' family is concerned about. Now, I hate to admit this, but as a parent, I've been guilty of doing that too. I've had moments where I worried that my child's behavior might reflect badly on me as a parent. I won't go into it now, but feel free to ask me about the airport incident, which was not one of my best moments as a parent. I've also had times when I felt like I was the one who was being treated unfairly. I was the one that other people wanted to shut down or control. I've had times when I was told, be careful, watch what you say, behave yourself. And the two phrases that I disliked the most, what will people say, right? What will people think? It's not uncommon for people to feel they have the right to control others. It happens all of the time. And when that happens to us, or when we see it happening to others, we have a choice. We can stay silent to appease the critics, or we can speak up. That's the choice that Jesus has. Stay silent or speak up. He's in a stressful situation with eager followers on one side and powerful detractors on the other side. He's doing something new in the name of God that his opponents don't like and his followers embrace. The legal experts and authorities want to turn people against Jesus because he's a threat to their power. And Jesus' own family wants him to stop because he's acting in ways that threaten their status and family honor. Jesus is under a lot of pressure to back down, but he doesn't. Instead, he takes the message of God's love a step further by redefining the idea of what relationship is. Instead of loyalty to only your mother or father, Jesus promotes a broader definition of family, which includes those outside of the family system. Jesus promotes a radical idea that family can be created out of shared values rather than shared bloodlines. That might not seem very radical to us today. Many of us have what we might describe as a chosen family that is different than our biological family. But in Jesus' time, this idea was revolutionary. Because culturally, family honor is sacred and to be protected at all cost. So Jesus' claim of a different definition of family, a family beyond bloodlines, challenges the social structure and threatens to undermine social stability. It is not a small thing. Jesus is disrupting the established social order and calling for a new order, a new way of belonging, which is more inclusive. This new way of belonging is the radical movement of love which you and I are part of. We are here together today because Jesus has called us to love God and love others across all boundaries. And at its best, this is what church is. A place which calls people to care for others in ways that are radically inclusive. To be brothers and sisters in God's family and extend that invitation to others. not because the church says so, but because God's love compels us to do so. To love loudly and joyfully in the broadest ways possible. To meet people where they are, as they are, and accept them as the children of God they already are. Including people in the family of God is one of the things that we are called to do as Christians. And one of the very special ways we do that is through baptism. Baptism is one of the most important sacraments of the church. It's our deeply rooted ritual for doing what God so deeply desires, widening the circle of relationship within community. I am so excited today that we are celebrating the baptisms of Elena and Adelina Knapp into the family of God. Elena and Addie, you have been loved by God forever. And we are so happy you have chosen us to be part of your family. People of St. John's, as part of Elena and Adelina's extended family, we are called to know them by name, to see them for who they are, and to support their families in whatever ways they need. The sacrament of baptism is one way to experience the kingdom of God within our own faith tradition. And that is a beautiful thing. But remember that the kingdom of God also includes those outside our particular institutional and social structures. Jesus is very clear about this. Family is not just who we are related to. It's not just who we identify with or feel comfortable with. It's not just for us. Jesus advocates for breaking down the boundaries that trap us inside our insulated groups and calls us to expand our understanding of relatedness. For we are related to everyone, because everyone is created in the image of God, and everyone is part of God's family. So, may we be the ones to cross boundaries and pursue relationships with others with no thought of gain for ourselves. May we break down the barriers that keep us separated and divided from one another and from our common humanity. And may we know that God is with us, giving us everything we need to be the radically inclusive kingdom of God's deepest